Hello and welcome to episode 69.
Nice.
Of the Retrotopia podcast. And this is Sam here for the intro this week. We are talking Leisure Suit Larry. Excuse me, sorry. So if you're new, welcome. And welcome aboard. If you're here just for Leisure Suit Larry, we're going to do an introduction. So if you're here for just the game talk, skip ahead about 20 minutes or so, you pervert. But if you'd like, you should stick around and listen, because we've got comments, updates from me, what I'm up to, and comments about the game from our listening audience. So that's all good fun. So stick around. First of all, plugs. We have a link tree that's lanktr.ee/Retrotopia, where you can find our social medias, the Discord, and most importantly, the Patreon, which is where you can go to get some extra content and also to comment on our episodes. So, speaking of which, let's get into the 9-bit banter box, which is culturally elegant and makes no sense. So our first question comes from Super Dave, who says, what do you think your next horniest gaming milestone or video gaming milestone will be? I read that completely wrong. Let me start that over. What do you think will be your next horniest video gaming milestone? So Leisure Suit Larry is a pretty horny game. But actually, you'll hear in the introduction, Brian and I found a predecessor to even Leisure Suit Larry, which is archaic by today's standards, which is text only, called Soft Porn Adventures. And man, if I could find a way to play that could be kind of interesting. It's like Leisure Suit Larry without any sort of graphical representation, so it's only text. Oh man, you'd really have to use your imagination for that one. So maybe that one, or another Leisure Suit Larry game, maybe, potentially. We'll see. I would like to try one of the newer ones that's got a little bit more graphical fidelity and stuff, just because I think it would be highly entertaining. And then the last one is one of those horny Pokemon ROM hacks that I've had my eye on for a long time. I think I might try to see what those are all about, because those sound fucking hilarious. Let's be honest. Thanks, Super Dave. Next comment is from Mr. Hooley, who says, actually, it's a question. Another question. I must know, what do you think is better, spaghetti or lasagna? I love a good lasagna, but spaghetti will always be one of my favorite meals. For me, it's lasagna. Spaghetti's fine, but I don't know. I do love lasagna, and it has to be Italian sausage. None of this ground beef bullshit. That's a good lasagna. You gotta get some good authentic Italian sausage in there. But the real answer is neither of those and Sicilian steak. Boom. All right. Thanks, Mr. Hooley. Thanks, Super Dave. Thanks for everyone who comments on the 9-bit banter box. We love it. We love answering your questions. So get those questions and comments in there. Thank you. And what have I been up to? What have I been playing? It's been real busy around here. Man, got some work travel coming up. That's gonna take up a little bit of my week next week. But I've had a lot of games in the pipeline, trying to divide my time evenly amongst a bunch of different things. I've been playing Kingdom Hearts for an upcoming episode. I will definitely save my thoughts for that episode. But I've been playing it on original hardware on the PS2, original version, not anything dressed up or remastered or anything. So, it's been interesting. Speaking of remasters, I did pick up on Steam the Star Wars Episode 1 Jedi Power Battles remaster. It doesn't fix everything, because that it was a licensed game from 2000, so it's a bit janky, and they didn't really fix that, to be honest. I don't know how they could, but they really did make it look better and add some things to it that's kind of fun. So I've been having fun with that one. Advance Wars Dual Strike I've been playing. That I'm going to chat with Danny over at Retro Wars on, and I've been having a lot of fun with that one. Man, I love the DS. Then we got 2 more. Man, I got a long list. Usually I just try to pick 3, but going to be firing up Kirby 64 pretty soon. If you are a patron, you know that Kirby 64 was our Patreon poll winner, so we'll be playing that and talking about it on an upcoming episode. And then just for shits and giggles, I've been playing High on Life. That went on PS Plus, and it's fine so far. It doesn't really grab me quite yet. I think the gameplay is fine, but the humor is there, so maybe I'll probably stick with it. So yeah, that's about it. Trying to keep myself busy here, but I'm gonna turn it over to Alan for the I know how to talk. The gentleman's interlude.
Leisure Suit Larry in the Land of the Lounge Lizards, released in 1987, is a game that oozes with charm, cheekiness, and enough innuendo to make any adventurous lover blush. Developed by the bold, the brash, the daring Sierra Online, and created by the genius mind of Al Lowe, this iconic title paved the way for a whole series of risque escapades. But darling, this isn't just any game. It's a journey into the heart of a sleazy, neon-lit nightlife, where every corner promises a deliciously wicked adventure. The game introduces us to Larry Laffer, a 38-year-old bachelor with an unhealthy obsession with flashy suits and romance. But Larry's not your average heartthrob. He's got a few quirks and an almost tragic inability to win over the ladies, no matter how many corny pickup lines he tries. It's your mission to guide this hapless hero through the gritty streets of Lost Wages, helping him seduce, charm, and, well, let's be real, stumble his way into the arms of a series of beautiful women. Of course, things don't exactly go according to plan, and you'll quickly discover the game's real charm is in its delightful failures. Released for MS-DOS, the original game was a bold, early entry into the realm of adult-themed video games. By 1987, the gaming world was more focused on pixelated fantasy and adventure. But Leisure Suit Larry tossed that out the window, offering a racy, unapologetic world filled with double entendres, cheeky humor, and more than a few suggestive situations. With pixelated naughty scenes hidden behind veils of innuendo, Larry's awkward yet oddly endearing character made a lasting impression. And let's not forget about the music. Honey, smooth jazz and catchy tunes filled the air, giving Larry's adventures a silky, seductive ambience. It wasn't just about the visuals and the gameplay, it was the vibe, the tantalizing anticipation of what would happen next. Leisure Suit Larry in the Land of the Lounge Lizards didn't just offer a game, it offered an experience. One that was, and still is, unapologetically bold. It made waves with its blend of humor, seduction, and just the right amount of sleaze. Since then, it's evolved into a whole series, but this first entry is where it all began, making Larry the king of his own sleazy little kingdom. And to all you beautiful Retrotopians out there, happy Valentine's Day.
All right. Thank you, Alan, for that sensuous gentleman's interlude. Now we have comments from our listeners about the game of the day, and that is Leisure Suit Larry and the Lounge Lizards. Our first comment comes from Sharkbite, who says, should have named the game Horn Dog Sam. Have you played any other games in the series? No, I haven't. Like I said, I might. I'm not sure if I will. I think maybe trying one with a little more modern touch might be kind of funny, but we'll see. This one kind of, I'm satisfied with this one for now. Next comes from Fallen Snow Kiku, who says, never played these games, but one time I was in a Name That Game trivia contest and correctly guessed this. The host remarked that I was probably the only person under 40 who's ever heard of that. Good point. Actually, it's kind of funny because I think you would do very well then with the questions that they ask you to make sure that you are of proper age to play the game, which Brian and I talk about a little bit. So, Kiku, I think that you would be of age to play this game according to the metric that they've applied to it. So, well done. Nice work. You are a good trivia team member then. Next comes from the Big Deal, who just says, nice. Very nice. And then Super Dave, who says, Larry takes more L's in his games than there are in this title. Never played any of his games, but his reputation precedes him. Oh, it sure does, man. Larry is just helpless, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. Should I feel bad for him? Probably not. He's a fictional character to start with, but man, just feel kind of skeezy after playing it, even though it was just a goofy, basically a joke game, but whatever. Just hard not to feel dirty when you're playing a game about like skulking around a casino and trying to have sex. Ugh. All right. Last comment comes from Guy Who Does Things, who says, oh man, I feel bad for you guys having to play this game. It's just so painful. It's like it infects your brain with an STD. I guess so. Yeah, a brain STD would be like syphilis. Or you kind of go nuts if you leave it unchecked. Yeah, like I said, you feel kind of gross after playing this game because it's not. Well, you'll see. There's nothing too horrible in it, but just like kind of just gives you like an icky feeling when you're done. It's like, ugh. Anyways, let's get into it. Brian and I are going all the way back to 1987 to talk Leisure Suit Larry in the Land of the Lounge Lizards, released in 1987, developed by Sierra Online for MS-DOS, Amiga, Apple II, old-ass computers. Let's go! All right, we are here for episode 69. Do I get to say the nice?
Giggity.
Can I say nice on this one?
Yeah, it's only the intro. I'm going to use that.
All right. Episode 69. Nice. Yes, I got to do it.
Nice.
And Brian and I are here to talk about Leisure Suit Larry in the Land of the Lounge Lizards.
That's Lawrence for you people who don't like to use his real name.
That's a lot of L's. I'm really having a fun time with consonants so far. If you listen to the After Dark, I was having a great time with the letter B.
Bill.
Anyways,
I still got the wiki open for that sex game.
Yeah,
I'm
I
sitting
do
there
too.
looking
I'm
for
like,
information on So there's nothing on Leisure Suit Larry on the house party.
I was looking at my tabs too. I was like, fucking soft porn adventure. What the hell? So, okay. Leisure Suit Larry. As we discussed in the intro, I'm sure, a 1987 text-based PC game.
Would you call it a text-based? Because there's graphics on it.
Well, not text-based as in like the whole thing is text, but you do have to enter the commands in text. So I consider that text-based.
I don't know if anybody who listens remembers that old company Sierra with their Police Quest, King's Quest, Space Quest, and then Leisure Suit Larry. But Yeah, it's a point and click adventure, I think is what they call it, because you can use the mouse to move around, and then you just have to type in commands.
Can you use the mouse? I didn't use the mouse. I used the arrow keys.
I don't have a number pad, so when you want to do an angle like up some stairs or something, you have to like tap upright.
Oh my God.
Upright. So if you use the mouse, he'll walk up the stairs in one fluid motion.
Or you can press the home button.
I only used it for that.
Press the home button, which I think is
really.
Yeah, it's above the arrows. I had to look at a keyboard to remember, but yeah, if you press the home button, it moves him at a diagonal, which will move him up the stairs. I
did not know that. No, I just either went the upright, or up left, or I just fucking used the mouse. Yeah, it wasn't such a big deal, but when I found out you could actually increase his speed by going through the menu options.
Could you really?
Game changer.
What? Oh yeah, God, he moves so slow.
Yeah, and there's an option there, and you set it to quickest, and he actually moves at a decent pace there, and it's just like the speed of a normal game. That's how as fast as he can go. Well,
when I inevitably play this again, I'm definitely gonna. That was a little
bring up the speed.
That was a little silly joke for you. I've never played this before, so I'll put all my cards on the table. What's your history? Because you have a more interesting history with this game than I do.
No, actually, I have no history with this game. This is the first time I played this one.
Yeah, but with the series, I guess.
I bought with the series. Okay, yeah, I bought the Humble Bundle with all the Leisure Suits Larrys, I think last Valentine's Day. And I guess I'll go over it. Someday we're going to do this episode, and I'll probably repeat the story, but Leisure Suits Larry Magna Cum Laude, or Meg Cum Laude, was the first multiplayer video game me and my now wife, then girlfriend, played together. And yeah, it was just like a great time. We just sat there taking turns playing Larry, and then all I can remember from that is one of the tasks you had to complete is you were a sperm and you had to work your way through the fallopian tube.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, so I got to play it again because I got to see, get that memory and see how it fits into the game. Maybe I'm just making stuff up. I honestly have no idea. It's been so long.
I don't know, Brian. Maybe we should lock it in. Episode 96, because that's a dirty number, right?
Oh no, episode 96 is going to be Bible Adventures because we got to do the absolute opposite of 69.
Fuck. I can guarantee you I'm going to hate Bible Adventures more than I hate Leisure Suit Larry.
I tried it. Yeah, I tried it recently. Oh my God, what a terrible game. It's almost as if the people who created it have no idea what video games are supposed to be and remove the fun from it.
No, it's just supposed to teach you Bible facts, right? And then that's it.
I don't even remember. There was text, but I just kind of skipped over it. All I knew is I had to lead the lambs or something to the ark.
Bible Adventures. What is it? Now, sorry, we're on a tangent, but it's just it's a Nintendo game. This looks fucking awful. Don't make me play this.
Oh, yeah, we're going to play it so bad.
Oh, all right. Well, so Leisure Suit Larry.
Let's get back.
Yeah, Leisure Suit Larry. So I suppose the object of the game is to so Larry is a computer programmer, is I guess because they've kind of inserted themselves into this game, I suppose, the folks at Sierra, and he is a middle-aged male virgin, which he goes to get lucky in the fictional American city of Lost Wages. Get it?
It's almost like some sort of reference to someplace.
Yeah, but I can't.
Oh, wait, the wiki here says it's a parody of Las Vegas. Wow.
Oh, there we go. So it's you're Larry and you're sleazing it up in Lost Wages, trying to find love.
Oh, God.
So you can,
I got it.
Go ahead.
Yeah, that's basically the plot, so I'm just going to cut you off here. Did you, through the game, every time you ran into a woman, first thing she would say is how your breath smelled like ass?
Yes.
Did you ever find anything like mouthwash or something to fix your breath? Because I never thought about looking for it.
If you type in the word inventory, it will pull up everything you're holding. and Larry comes with breath spray.
Seriously?
Yeah, so you can just type in use breath spray, and he sprays like Banaka or whatever the fuck that stuff is into his mouth. And every now...
Oh, fuck, I never even
Yeah,
knew.
so apparently, I didn't know the ladies told you that, but apparently, like, I would just be walking around, you know, going to my next objective or doing what I needed to do, and it would, like, text would just come up on the screen. It would just pause and be like, "Oh, your breath smells like a old wet tire or whatever." It's like, oh, okay. So I just say use breath spray, and it was like, oh, much better. It's like, what was the point of that?
I never used it once. It didn't affect the game at all.
Well, interesting. I wonder if it...
Besides the point where I soft locked myself, like, this game was pretty straight left to right.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, we'll get into some of the tasks that you have to do where it's just like, what the fuck? I will say, this is my first, I guess technically this is a point and click. So I've played point and click, but it's kind of a hybrid because you do have to type in the commands. Whereas in like a point and click game, if I'm thinking like Day of the Tentacle or something like that, you can click on stuff and then you can click the actions. Like there's an array of actions that are like preloaded into the game. This you have to kind of learn the syntax of how you can enter commands in and what you can do and all that kind of stuff as you go along, because it doesn't really tell you like, hey, you can talk to people, but you have to type in, you know, talk, and there's no prepositions either. So it was like trying to figure that out. I walked into the bar at the beginning and it was like, talk woman, talk man.
Oh, really? I had no problem putting prepositions in. I'd write, like, talk to bartender.
Really?
And be like, hey, bud, what do you want?
What the fuck?
Yeah.
I put in talk to woman, and it was like, I don't understand that, or something like that. It was like, can you rephrase that or whatever? Or, you know, I would say, if I entered in a word that wasn't recognized, it would just say like, what is whatever I typed in. I don't know. I can't think of a good example, but like at least the interface for the typing kind of like tells you, oh no, that doesn't make sense the way you put it. You have to rethink. It's not that your thought process is wrong. It's just that you have to put in the words that the game language understands, which is kind of an interesting concept.
Yeah, and I remember back in the day, because I had Police Quest, which was another Sierra game, which basically functions almost exactly like Leisure Suit Larry. And if you didn't have the box, there was something that came with it that kind of told you everything you could do, and it was essential to actually completing the game. So we had, I don't know, a shareware version, or back in the day when people would just copy games from each other and then share them.
You mean the Dreamcast?
That weren't actually shareware versions.
You mean the Dreamcast?
Yeah. Hi-oh.
All right. Yeah.
But, so I imagine this game must have had something like that as well, because there was a lot that I didn't know what was going on. And there is no instruction booklet with this digital version of the game.
No.
So, yeah, a walkthrough was a little bit helpful if I got stuck, but everything was pretty logical. The biggest places I got stuck was when you had to do a repetitive task like 7 times, change the TV channel.
Oh, yeah, what the fuck? It was like, why? Like, I get changing it a couple times. That like, the joke is like, you turn on the TV, and then this guy that's like the pimp that's like blocking your way to go up the stairs, you know, gets distracted by the TV. But like, you turn it on, and you have to flip through like several channels of like a text box will pop up. It's like, clearly he's just looking for the porn. Can we find it, please, and move on?
Yeah, just he should have just had to change to channel 69 or something.
Yes, change to. Actually, it would have been funny if there was a shortcut where it was just like, turn on porn.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of turning on porn and shortcuts for things that fucking drove me nuts, to start this game, you have to go through that goddamn test.
Yes, what the fuck? I get it, but like, oh my god.
And it's not something you do once.
No.
It's every time you start the game, you have to go through this test, and it's like a bank of like 80 questions.
Right.
And they're so out of date
that
unless you're my age, you're not going to understand the answers. And even then, I had to look up the answers.
That's the point, Brian. They're trying to make sure that you're of age to play this game. But yeah, no, it's stupid. It's like,
at this point, you have to be 107 just to get the fucking most current one.
Yeah, it was like, oh, fuck. there were ones about like there were ones about the Beatles, which is like, okay, I listen to the Beatles, I know what that is. You know, like there was one about like baseball players from the 60s. I was like, what the fuck? And then there were ones that like kind of were ambiguous, even if you're no matter what age you were. I was like, what? Who? This doesn't prove that I'm, you know, of age to play this game or whatever. But if you do get stuck and if you're for whatever reason you're interested in playing this game after you listen to this, there is a list of the questions and answers online, all of them, so that you can.
Oh, there's so many lists.
Oh, and it's so dumb too, because if you fuck up one of the questions, it's like you're not old enough to play this game, and then instead of just like instead of just putting you back and like making you answer a couple more questions, they just, even on Steam, the fucking game closes. I was like,
yeah, exactly.
Ugh.
But here's some of the questions. All right, Tiptoe Through the Tulips was recorded by who?
Oh, Tiny Tim.
Oh, okay, you got me on that one. Well, fuck you.
Yeah, give me another one. Come on.
Herb Alpert and the Blank Brass.
Oh, that was Tijuana Brass.
Oh, you got that question, so that doesn't count.
No, I didn't get that question. I just know there was one like that, but
seriously,
yeah,
like
Tijuana Brass.
Dude, you need to get out of the house.
Me? No, I'm just old enough to play this game.
You know that question.
Oh man.
All right.
Yeah.
This one you should know.
Okay.
The largest state is?
Oh, Alaska.
Oh, good job. The most populous state in the U.S. is?
California.
Utah is full of?
Mormons.
None of the above.
Oh.
That was a trick question.
Sorry, Utah. I don't know if we have any listeners in Utah. We love you anyways. Yeah, it's just this game. So, yeah, to start out with, you start at the bar, and you have to. It's interesting how you interact with things, because clearly you need to kind of accumulate items and figure out how to use them and with what characters you encounter in order to kind of progress. And there's steps that you can miss that if you miss them, you're just not going to be able to. You're not going to be able to progress, and that's kind of part of the beauty of this. Is I could see.
Well, it gives it a puzzle element to the actual game, because if, like, I got soft locked because I missed an item, and I'll get to it when we get to that part, but essentially I had to, luckily I was saving sequentially, so I only had to go back a few saves and then get that item, then finish the game, which took another like 20-30 minutes. But it was easy to miss. You just don't think about it. This game is brilliant, and like these games, but we'll go with this game.
Yeah, this one
is brilliant in the way that you can interact with stuff. You see it, you can probably interact with it.
And the other thing that I found really interesting was that anytime you walked into a new area, whether you were outside on the street or, you know, in one of the locations in one of the buildings, rooms or whatever, you could just type the word "look," and then he would just generally make observations about what was around him in the room. And then that way you could kind of pick out clues as to like what you might need to go look at. So for example, in the bar, you can go back in the bathroom, and if you type in "look," it says, like, you're in a nasty bathroom and there's a gross looking sink, but there's someone left a diamond ring on it, and there's a bunch of graffiti on the wall. So right away, like, you have to go check out the sink, and you have to actually pick up that ring because you need it, and then you have to look at the graffiti on the wall 4 times for some fucking reason, but you still, like, clue to let you progress in the game is in the graffiti on the wall, but you wouldn't know that. And this is all 8-bit, so it's not like you can really tell that there's graffiti on the wall that says anything. You just have to kind of like walk your character up to the wall and say, "Read graffiti" or "Look at graffiti," and then it'll, you know, describe what's written, which I think is pretty interesting.
Yeah, but here's one. Yeah, and one that nobody ever thinks about is you got to take a shit.
What was the point of that?
And that way you read.
Like, it was.
You have to read the newspaper.
But what was in the newspaper?
Well, you're gonna make me go through the walkthrough I printed out.
Well, yeah,
this.
I mean, it was in the walkthrough I used too, but like I just didn't understand. Like, I get, like, it's like, don't get me wrong, I love making jokes about going poo poo just as much as everyone else. Add poo poo to the list of words that make me laugh. Okay, so yeah, I get it. It's funny to make him take a shit, but like, and then you can look.
But I don't know if it was like there was a point to it or not, but it's just one of the checklist items.
But you know what I did? And I posted in our Discord. I flushed the fucking toilet, and the entire room fills with water, and then Larry dies.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah, so like,
Fuck.
if you're gonna be courteous and flush the toilet, it just starts like. At first, I was like, "Oh shit!" It just starts overflowing. So I wonder if this is part of it. Like, I made the toilet overflow. I need someone to like come help, or like I need to interact with someone about this or something. And it was like, nope, it just fills up and he dies. I had to start the fucking game
I didn't
over.
even flush the toilet. Oh man, one of my biggest gripes in life is people who don't flush the toilet in public bathrooms. That and the people who smear shit on the walls or piss all over
I know.
everything.
That's why I wanted to. I was in a public bathroom.
Yeah, and I forgot to flush the toilet. I'm a fucking hypocrite.
I know. It's tough. But yeah, that was
Fall on my blade.
that was funny. There was a couple other really goofy things that made me laugh. Like not all of it takes place in the bar. There's the bar. There's a shop.
Well, in the bar you
right.
have that back room where you climb up in there. You get the pimp out of the way. You climb
Yep.
up, and if you bang the hooker, you get a venereal disease and you die.
Oh no! You gotta
'Cause you don't have-
put protection on.
Yeah, but you don't get the protection until later.
I know.
But you can bang her right off the bat.
Can't. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah, well, the whole point is Larry's doesn't want to die a virgin, and I consider that a win.
Well, that's one way to win the game. The other way is to travel around, and there's a shop. There's a casino. What was there another location, or is it just the three?
Yeah, a disco,
the disco,
chapel, and hotel.
Oh, the chapel too.
Oh no, the hotel's the.
Yeah.
Sorry, the casino is the hotel.
Yeah, the casino's the hotel. But then, yeah, I forgot about the disco because you're not. It's a funny little sequence, but you're not there for that long. You have accumulated a rose, a ring, and what was the last thing? Box of chocolates.
Box of chocolates
that you steal from the hooker at the bar.
Yeah.
And then you give those all to this lady, and then she says she'll marry you, and then you.
Yeah, just like that. It's like, I'm not gonna have sex until we get married. It's like, you goddamn prude.
And then when they're dancing,
then she fucking takes all your money.
Yes, she does. But before that, they do some disco dancing on the dance floor, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, she throws Larry in the air, and he stays up in the air for like a few seconds.
I think it's the other way around.
Is it the other way around?
I think he throws her.
Is that
up,
what it is?
And then
I could.
Yeah, Larry does some dancing on the floor, and then she comes back down. I thought she left because I took my eyes off the screen.
Yeah, I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, and then I'm like, okay, well, she left. It's like, and Larry's still dancing. Like, okay, what's going on? Then she like comes down and Larry catches her. I'm like, oh,
that's funny. There was
I hope that's not important to the plot.
Right. Yeah, so like Brian said, there's a bunch of other shit you have to do that is kind of weird. Like there was one point once you get to the casino with the lady that he marries, you have to like go. She wants wine, but you have to go to the shop, and instead of like going in the shop and just fucking buying some, you have to like call this like mail order delivery wine service and order.
Yeah, that one took me a little bit. I kept using the wrong term to get the wine delivered, and it's like, what do you want? I'm like, I want wine. And they're like, okay, buy, and hang up on me. I'm like, what the fuck?
I think you have to say like deliver wine to suite or something like that. It was
yeah,
weird.
I think it's done in two parts. Like, what do you want? You say wine, and then it's like, where would you like it delivered to? And you say sweet, and then it understands. But if you put it all together, it's like, nah, you can't do that, bitch, and it hangs up on you. Which is funny because there's a fucking store.
Right, it's like
right there with wine. You buy wine in that store and give it to a bum.
Yeah, you have to because you get the. Well, we'll get to that. But dude, I had some fun with the phone. I will tell you. I looked in because I was playing with a guide. Like, honestly, unless you want to just kind of chip away at this and just have it be kind of like a puzzle that you're trying to solve, which can be kind of fun, I guess. in the guides, there's like fun extra stuff in there that you can call Sierra online, which is really fun. And they'll, I don't know what it says. It's like, if you like this game, you should tell Al Lowe, who's like one of the programmers, that you're having a good time or whatever. Like, it was just kind of funny. Like, it was as if you were calling, obviously, the developer of the game.
Yeah. Then there's that other number. You have to answer those questions. So I just kind of answered kind of goofy, and then it comes back later, and it's like you were doing an online survey, and it's like, your mom is coming to pick you up to have sex with you.
Oh,
like,
God.
Oh, those were the wrong choice words.
Yeah. It's like, well, it was funny because you fill those in, and then when it calls you and you pick it up, and then it reads you back your responses in their script, it's kind of like a Mad Lib. It was pretty funny. Like, mine was...
Oh, it's just like the shopkeeper as well when you buy the condom.
Yes, that was great too. It was like, that's the screen grab that I put up on my Instagram and in the Discord. It was like, what a pervert. It's like, don't shame this guy. He's just trying to get some protection.
Yeah, right. I remember back in the day, like I was young, so buying condoms was like this big embarrassing thing because, you know, it's like, oh no,
Yeah.
I'm having sex. And nowadays it's like I walk in, not only do I buy the condoms, but I sit there and tap people on the shoulder and show them, because that's, you know, like I'm fucking getting
It's
laid.
like, oh, sorry, I dropped my giant my Magnum condom for my Magnum dong.
Magnum Dong. Fuck, I forgot about that. Oh man, good pull. Good
Yeah.
pull.
So,
But
yeah.
oh man, that shop was, I don't know, when that bum started walking towards me, I wasn't sure if I was gonna die because I'm like typing in the phone number, so I'm typing it in faster just so I can get through that part before the bum kills me.
Does he?
Turns out he just wants the wine, so he's like, oh, okay, it's all
No,
good.
he actually. Wait a second. That's not him. You give that bum the wine, but like, does he give you anything in return, or does he just leave you alone?
I think he just leaves you alone.
Oh, okay. Because then there's a different guy that what is he? What I can't remember what if he's wearing something goofy or whatever. But there's a guy that's sometimes, but not always, outside the casino, and you have to buy an apple from him. I don't know if he's.
Yes.
I can't remember what he's dressed as. If it's like a. I don't know why I want to say he's in a burger suit.
He's dressed in a barrel.
Oh, it's a barrel.
He's in a barrel.
Okay. I thought it looked like a hamburger bun, so that's why I thought he was in like the burger suit, like in Bob's Burgers. But he's not. He's just wearing a barrel.
You buy the apple from him. The wino gives you nothing. I think that was the only two. Oh, there's a dog that shows up every so often if you stay idle long enough.
Oh, weird. Can you like pet it or do anything?
Oh, I never tried. I just when the dog showed up, that I just started moving again, and the dog would just wander by. So
I wonder if some of those things are just ways to like, you know, like you can get a higher score if you find a little couple extra things every time you play through. Because, like, what was I can't
possibly.
remember what my score was when I ended, but basically there is like a
yeah, I forgot to write that down. I was not at the 222 that you can max out.
No, neither was I. I was probably a good like 15 or 20 points off, I think. But it was like, yeah.
Oh, I was way more than that.
Oh, more points off?
Yeah, like my gap to finishing the amount of points I could have had was much larger than yours.
I'd be interested to know if some of it is time-based. Like, oh, you found this, you know, earlier in your playthrough than others. So you get, like, it's worth more points if you find it earlier or something like that. But, yeah, if you haven't, I'm assuming most people haven't played this particular one, but there's, like, a little scorekeeper thing up on the top of the screen, and it just says 222, and it'll say like 0 of 222 when you start, and every time you, I don't know, gather up an item that you need or interact with someone that you need to interact with, the score will go up a little bit.
Possibly, yeah. I have no idea. All I know is every major event you do, you get an extra score. Maybe that's the only reason they give the wine to the wino, is just to increase your score.
Yeah. Man, this is
Either way.
that is weird. You know, like this guy that made this game made like the point and click games for like Disney.
Oh, did he? Oh, you're looking at the wiki.
Yeah,
as
he
well?
made Donald Duck's Playground, Winnie the Pooh and the 100-Acre Woods, and the Black Cauldron. And then also,
Yeah, and soft porn.
yeah,
adventure.
right in the next sentence it says he also made soft porn adventure. Like, what the fuck?
Oh God. Apparently, where was I reading that this game was made because he didn't think soft porn adventure was sexy enough. Oh, there it is. Lowe, who considered the original soft porn adventure a primitive early effort, borrowed its basic structure and added a graphic game engine.
Well, now I can't.
And that's what made this game.
Oh, so that soft porn adventure was just a completely text-based one.
Oh, yeah. It's just, you had to use your imagination.
Oh, I really like that Leisure Suit Larry is sexier because you can see all the dingy, dirty, shitty places he goes.
All 8 bits are
all
there,
8
baby.
bits of...
Oh.
Yeah.
Fuck. Man, oh man, so
8 bitty titties.
did you use the 8 itty bitty titties? Did you use the save and reload slot machine exploit for your
Yes, because
for money
well,
there?
if you run out of money, you can kind of lock yourself out. So it's kind of like that's part that I might have a gripe with because you really could very easily like fuck yourself over or just get unlucky and not you because there's points in the game where you have to go to the casino and use the slot machine to like kind of regain some of your money so that you can pay for things that you need to do like cab rides and you're supposed to
and don't forget to pay the cabbie.
yeah don't because he'll kill you. There was a point in this game where I had to like go between locations pretty frequently and I was like, is this fucking cab ride simulator? Like this is just all I'm doing is sitting in this goddamn cab and it's just like such a repetitive like open door and then you type in like go to casino and then you wait.
Did you you didn't even have to type in go to, you just type in where you want to go, casino.
Whatever, but yeah.
But were you like me where you were so sick of the cab you'd get in, you just like power through the words and then you type in pay cab or pay driver and then wait until it stopped and you just hit enter to get it over with, I guess?
No, but
because when the cab's moving from the cab's moving from location to location, you have about a good 20 to 30 seconds of just animation.
Right.
So you might as well do something and type in what you have to do next.
You can take all 30 seconds to hunt and peck all of those letters.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, going back
to like those old like watching old people fucking type on a keyboard with 2 fingers. Click, click, click. Let me type it. No, I got this. I fucking get away from me.
Typewriters existed.
Yes, Grandpa.
Like Mavis Beacon was a thing.
Have you ever used a typewriter? Like they were not keyboard friendly.
No.
You had to use the 2-finger method.
Oh, for like the old ones, but like there were ones with nice automatic keys.
Oh, look who could afford an electric typewriter.
Oh, I've never used a typewriter, and you know it.
Well, I'm sorry, Mr. King of United States, who had all the money in the world in the 90s to buy your electric type-a-majiggers.
I'm going to type every word I know. Sorry, I love that scene from Parks and Rec. Anyways, going back to the casino, because we were talking about like saving and whatever, you have to just gamble to get your money back to a point where you can, progress the game at certain points. And like, unfortunately,
I just maxed it out to 250 each time.
Well, I did, but also you can, if you have like a run of poor luck in the slot machine, you can lose all your money, which sucks.
Yeah, but all I would do is I would save the game, then I'd run the slot machine with the max bet of 20. If I lost the money, I'd reload the game. The 3 buttons you had to use was F6, F7, and F8.
Right.
Or sorry, no, F5 saved, F7 reloaded, F8 pulled the handle.
Which is so dumb.
So all you would do...
Because they like mixed I don't know why they would do this, but just as an aside, they made F5 and F7 the save and load function buttons, and then F4, 6, and 8 were the ones that operated the slot machine. Like, why are they mixed together?
Yeah.
Okay, go on. I'm sorry.
Who knows? But F5's a common save button nowadays, so maybe it was just part of a trend.
Started by Leisure Suit Larry. Go on.
Yeah. So well, maybe before that with like King's Quest.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you all you would do is pull the handle. If you won money, save the game, pull the handle again. If you lost money, reload the game, pull the handle. If you win, repeat that process until you got 250. The whole thing took you maybe 5 minutes tops.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. It just was like, if you don't use that exploit, it's like a really weird, and I don't know, maybe it wasn't intended to be able to be used, but it's just kind of a weird situation.
Well,
where,
you
like,
have to use it. You can't beat the game without using it. You have like a maybe 1 in 50 chance to beat the game, because at one point you're stuck with just $10,
right.
which is, you can either do 10 pulls at $1 each, which gives you 10 chances, or you do one pull at $10 using this exploit, and you get your money back. But if you don't use this exploit to do it, you have a good chance of losing all your money, and therefore the game soft locks you at this point.
Right. Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, it's fine. It's definitely a choice that they made, but if there's a way around it. I mean, it's just funny, like, when there's a game that is basically, it's based on your deductive skills to try to, like, work your way through the scenario, but also you can just lose arbitrarily because you lost a bunch in the slot machine.
Yeah.
I
remember me and my brother, we used to play Police Quest and King's Quest a lot, because we had that on our old computer, like a monochrome monitor with orange and black. Those were the only two colors.
Oh, that's fun.
So we would play King's Quest and Police Quest a lot, and it really did come down to using the look and then deciphering what was in the text, because what pops up on the screen always tells you what you can do, and you just go through the text and you kind of pick out the different things, and then you like, look at this, grab that, take this, use this on that, and you would just logic your way through the game. But like I said, it also came with a kind of how-to, so if you didn't brute force your way through the game, like Police Quest, we were pretty much stuck on until we learned that we had to inspect the police car.
Yeah, that's what I was saying before, where, like, if you're interested in playing either this game or any other sort of Sierra type point and click game like this that has the text entry, for actions and stuff, just like always use that look whenever you get into a new space, because there's always,
and read the text. The text will tell you exactly what you need to do. You have to decipher it a little bit, and it might be convoluted, but you got to think outside the box too.
Yeah, there's some clever, like, little puzzles and just like hints at things that you wouldn't really think of, but it's all kind of there.
And it's so simple to miss some stuff, because later in the game you're tied up and you're robbed. This is where you end up with $10 to your name, and you had this pocket knife that you got from the guy.
That's what the wine is for. You give the wine to the guy, and then he gives you a switchblade or a pocket knife.
Okay, sorry. So
I forgot about that.
Anyways, you have this pocket knife, and you cut yourself out of these ropes, and then you leave the room. That's what I did.
Right.
What I forgot to do was take the rope, because it was an item that was in the room. Why not take the rope with you? So it's so simple to miss these things if you're not really thinking, like, of the whole picture.
It's easy to miss, but then also I noticed that it was sitting on the bed once he got up, and that once he picked it up, it disappeared. So it's like those, like, visual cues are kind of there. You just have to catch them,
Yeah, I completely missed that. I thought the whole scene was over, so I walked out of the room, and when I got to the part where you needed it, all of a sudden I couldn't go any further, and so I went back to the room. The door was locked behind you, and nobody opened it.
Yep.
So I just basically said fuck, and then I went through my save files, found one that was a little bit older than that whole scene, and luckily enough, it was only like 20-30 minutes back.
You know what else I found crazy about this is, like, there are some events later in the game that require you to have picked up, like, just items from just completely disparate parts of the game. Like going back to, like, you needed that rope, okay? Like, to the start of that sequence of items and things that you needed to pick up the pill bottle that's in the window, started at the very beginning of the game when you like fall out of the fire escape into the dumpster. You have to look in there and there's a hammer. And if you don't do that, you won't be able to complete the game.
Luckily enough, you can actually find the hammer later in the game. Because you can just fall off that again, you land inside of it, and you just pick up the hammer.
Well, right, but my thing is, like, if you didn't find it the first time, like, I don't know. Like,
good chance you're not finding it the second time, unless you land in there and use the look command.
I mean, but then again, like, if you're not used to, like me, not being used to this, you know, I hadn't quite caught on yet that, like, using just typing the word look was so powerful. It's like, what I did, though, I tested it out, because the guide said there was a hammer in there. I was like, how the fuck am I supposed to know that there's a hammer in this dumpster? So I typed in commands like dig in trash, and it was like, I don't understand what that means. Like, okay, well, let's try something else, you know? That sort of thing.
Yeah. And that's half the fun of the game, is just trial and error with the words you use. I imagine there's like a benefit to this as well. Like, it's obviously got to teach you a way to think of how to solve puzzles using words.
Right.
As opposed to, fists.
Use your words.
Yeah, like modern games. Modern games are all about punching your way through problems.
Yeah.
These games required finesse.
Yes. I don't know. Did you have any other funny deaths? Like, anything else kill you that was funny?
No, after the hooker killed me at the beginning, I just kind of like I had to do that a quiz again at like when I restarted the game. I said I am not fucking dying again.
Yeah,
I'm going to.
You're gonna see it through.
Just go through this one time. Yeah, I'm going through it one time. I'm not fucking turning it off until I'm done.
And I'm
going to use a goddamn.
Once you had a save file established, could you use the function keys to access?
No.
Oh, you still did.
No. Every time you start the game, you have to do that stupid goddamn quiz. And again, I don't have the box with all the answers in it. Nor do I have the knowledge to know half of this shit.
It did trick me a couple times. I got really irritated by it. But one other death that I had that was really funny was like right at the end. So like we had talked about how you go to the shop and you buy the condom, and then you have to like get a specific kind, and then they tell you you're a pervert or whatever. Then you go and go up by we should say it's sex worker, not hooker. Let's have some respect.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. Let's take this 8 woman laying on a bed with apparent venereal disease.
Apparently.
And just show her the respect she deserves for her position in society.
Yes. So you go up there, and then you have to type in wear protection after you take your clothes off. And then anytime he has sex or there's like implied like that he's doing anything, there's like a big black censored box over it. I was like, wait a minute here. What? Like, you can't at least let me see the pixel people doing things? That would have been fun.
Yeah, I haven't not seen or played any other game except for Magna Cum Laude. I think that was kind of a running joke, and then they did a uncensored version of the Magna Cum Laude, and that one actually has digital nudity in it.
Perfect. No notes. Yeah.
So if you're looking for some PS2 titties,
yes,
that's the one you go with.
Move over, Lara Croft. We've got real boobies from Leisure Suit Larry.
We got real fake boobies, yeah.
But anyways, you put the protection on, and then you get in bed and you do your thing. If you do not, and I'm not kidding, if you do not type in remove protection and you walk out into the street, you get arrested. It was like a cop approached when I was back on the sidewalk out in front of the Lucky's Bar, Lefty's Bar, or whatever it is, and he's like, hey, you can't be wearing your protection out in the street. That's indecent. And then he arrests you, and the game ends.
I think it has to imply that Larry still has his cock.
I know. It's like, how do you know that it's whatever?
Yeah, like it's because when you're done and Larry's all dressed, so it's not like you're thinking, hey, and now they put my clothes on, time to take the condom off.
Nope, he's just got his...
And kind of implied that it's already done.
He's just letting it fly, which is pretty funny.
Yeah, apparently he didn't zip his dick up.
I thought that was really funny. But then once you're done with that, you have to go. The end game is really weird because you basically have to like.
It makes no sense.
You have to like give the lady at the reception desk, who you can barely see, by the way. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, the graphics of this game are fine, and I thought it was pretty good for the time. Especially this is a 1987 game from the Apple II or whatever fucking computer it was on. The rooms actually had like a 3D kind of look to them a little bit, the way that they were laid out, and Larry can move around more or less pretty well in the 3D spaces. So, I mean, hats off to them for doing that. I guess that was good. But now, having said that, some of the stuff in the hotel like was kind of hard to tell what it was, and the reception desk lady down in the corner on the top floor was one of them. I was like, oh, that like pile of pixels is a person that I can talk to? Sure, okay.
I think they're going for like the oh god, that stereotypical 80s punk type of girl who's like leans over chewing bubble gum, blowing bubbles. There's like, "Way you
yeah, it's like,
and then you just,
what do you want,
feed
mister?"
her pills.
Yeah, and then you just give her pills, which is, I felt gross about that. Like, I know it's just part of the game or whatever. I was like, ugh. I feel
it's also the 80s, buddy.
I feel so icky about this.
Passing pills around is like shaking.
But
hands.
I think it was like, I can't remember if it was implied that they were like aphrodisiac pills or something. She was like, "Oh, I'm all ready to go," and then it was like, "I'm gonna go find my boyfriend," and that was like kind of like, "Oh, Larry, didn't work again for you." And then.
Yeah, but then he goes up to the penthouse right after that, and this part that doesn't make sense to me. Okay, so I'm gonna, before you get into the final, I'm just gonna like rewind here. So Larry has sex with a hooker, throws the condom against the wall as is tradition, leaves Lefty's bar, gets into a cab for some reason, which is I don't think was explained. He goes back to the casino where he got robbed.
Right.
Goes up the elevator to the penthouse level, gives pills to a receptionist, and then goes up to the penthouse for no discernible reason.
Yeah, there's like no reason.
That's where we are right now.
There's no reason to go back to the hotel. And then also, I don't know if you type in top floor or if it's 8th floor, but there's like 8 full floors of this casino, and like 90% of it is useless. There's like a door on the 4th floor.
Then you got to go up every floor.
Yeah, there's like a door on the 4th floor that you can use. That's where like the honeymoon suite was, where you got robbed. And then there's the upper floor where like that's where the penthouse suite is or whatever. But there's like a whole bunch.
And when you get to the uppest floor.
Yeah, the uppest floor.
Fuck, great word, uppest.
But yeah, every other floor is just completely useless. It's got doors. It's like fully fleshed out. It's just like,
well, I get it. I get it in the sense that you're in a hotel. You're not going to go into every room, and they're trying to create an aesthetic to the game.
It's too many floors.
So though. if well, it's a casino. It's supposed to be grandiose,
I guess.
But like if there was 2 floors, the penthouse is on the 2nd floor, right next to the honeymoon suite. Yeah, it would kind of take away from the game. So it's annoying, but
my house has an
acceptable level annoying.
I have a penthouse here. Not the magazine.
Holy fuck!
It's just up. I have 2 stories, so my 2nd story is a.
Here we go again. The King of the United States talking about his riches.
Yeah, my penthouse. I have a penthouse full of penthouses.
I take an elevator all the way to the 2nd floor of my house. That's how rich I am.
Oh man. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
That end part of the end game is just makes no sense. Where it's just like it kind of feels almost like it feels like when they were creating the sequence of events for the game or whatever, they were just kind of like, what do we do after this? I don't know. Just have them go back and find someone.
Yeah, it's kind of like they wanted a happy ending, but they didn't know how to do it, because the whole plot of the game is Larry wants to get laid, and he does. He bangs the hooker. He bangs the sex worker.
I think actually I just thought of this. Could you imagine, like, they're all just, like, sitting around making this game and, like, giggling about it. Like, we just made him have sex with the hooker. And it's like, oh, fuck. We forgot to, like, actually conclude the story. Like, oh.
Oh, no. Where's the script writer? Well, we already fired
I don't know.
him.
Just send him back to the casino and have him find a person in there.
But no, what bothered me about the ending was just that he goes up to this penthouse after, weaseling his way in.
Yeah.
He blows up a sex doll, has sex with the blow-up sex doll. Then he's just like, all right, I'm going to go sit in the hot tub. And there's a
chick in there. Yeah.
A woman
Whatever.
in the hot tub. Just sitting there, and she's like, why don't you jump on in? And it's like, no, that's the normal reaction.
Yeah, it's...
this guy comes up, fucks a piece of plastic on your bed while you sit there and watch from your goddamn hot tub, and your first thought is, let's take this 38-year-old fucking virgin.
With horrible breath, by the way, because you never used your breath spray.
Yeah, with horrible breath. Invite him into the hot tub, and then they have sex.
Yes. Yeah. Very weird. And it's funny too because I was following the guide. I was like, okay, so you have to go in this closet or whatever and pick up the sex doll or whatever. It didn't let me fuck it. It just, like, I walked out of the closet with the sex doll and it just, like, flew away, like someone poked a hole in it. It was like,
oh, maybe I misspoke. I don't remember fucking it either. But...
No, I think you do, or you do something, because there was extra stuff in the guide about, like, what you're supposed to blow it up and do things to it.
Okay, here it is.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the guide. It says you inflate the doll, then you write in use doll.
Yeah, use doll.
But the game refuses to let you do anything to the doll, so you have to say use doll again. Then you kind of have the implied sex with the doll, then it deflates and blows away.
It just blew away for me. It didn't make me do the stuff, which is really funny that it's like, use doll, and then the game tells you no, and then you're supposed to just be like, no, game, use the fucking doll.
No, you don't tell me.
You don't tell me.
Start
no.
slapping the doll.
Oh, Jesus, that's all right. So the doll, like, actually blows out of the suite towards the door where the hot tub is, and that's how you come upon.
Oh, is that what gets you out there? That's right. I thought you just kind of, like, you're done. You're like, I'm going to go stand on the balcony with my dick
No,
out.
for me, like,
but I guess there was...
Yeah, the blow-up doll blows out of the room and through the door, and then that's where the lady, what's her name?
Eve
is in there. Yeah, you can actually, all the ladies have names.
And that's who you... That's right. That's who you give the apple to.
Right, because then it's like, oh, I have this apple. And I'm, currently naked, so I don't know how it's in my inventory. Where'd you put it?
Yeah. I'm fucking stuck on the end of his dick with the condom.
Yeah. Oh, gross. Anyways, yeah, so Larry gets his happy ending twice.
Yeah, I don't know. It feels like like you said, like they didn't really have an ending and they just wanted a happy ending.
Yeah,
so.
they just...
I don't know. I'm not going to say this takes away from this game because this entire game takes away from this game.
I felt gross
bare bones
after I played it.
Yeah. Like, if you just bring this game down to its core, it is not a good game. It's very short. The plot is terrible. The logic behind what you're doing is you have to have the most decrepit mind.
Yeah, you have to really
I'm pretty
be kind
sure,
of a piece of shit.
Yeah, you have to think like you're in the 80s where, people were treated differently back then.
Yeah, it was definitely a different time.
It's not something that translates well to today, but it is so much stupid fun.
Yeah.
But use the guide.
Yeah, use the guide. I mean, it's worth just like as like a piece of video game history. It's kind of fun to play it, but like, man, I actually like if you look at the Wikipedia page for this game, there are so many goofy, like, there's another game called Leather Goddesses of Phobos. Raunchy and humorous without Leisure Suit Larry's retrograde portrayal of women. So okay, so it's like filthy without being, like misogynist. That's fun. Anyways, there's a bunch of like as soon as it's just like it's just like what's the old adage where it's like as soon as like some sort of new technology comes out, we'll figure out a way to like use it to make porn or whatever. Like,
Oh, you're thinking of like the Rule 34?
no, not that.
If it exists, there will be porn
No,
of it.
that's
well,
different.
it's the same idea,
but it's
right?
like okay, we made VR headsets. Now there's like VR porn. Like there was video games.
Well,
and they
yeah,
made,
that
like,
was inevitable.
yeah,
I mean,
but you know what I mean.
but no, but you're right. It's like fuck, what is it? The 3DS had an internet browser, and it was on the news. There, it's like, are the 3DS giving kids access to porn? And it's like,
yes, it is actually, because
Yeah.
oh my god, did you remember? This is a fun story. I don't know if I ever told it on a show. when I bought that 3DS used, like obviously it's used because they don't make them anymore. But I got a 3DS from a retro shop, and I brought it home, and I was trying to like get first of all, I had parental locks on it, so like I couldn't change anything on it, and then I had to contact Nintendo, and they're actually really good. So like if you have an old Switch or you get like a secondhand 3DS, like Nintendo support is awesome. But anyways, I got it unlocked and whatever, and then I went to the web browser, and it was just full of porn.
Holy Jesus!
Like
yeah.
what? So we had parental locks on this, but then like whatever kid owned this 3DS was like,
It wasn't to keep kids out of the porn. It was to keep the kids from finding dad's porn.
with their own, by having their own porn.
Yeah. It's like, you don't look at my Pornhub account. You make your own.
Yeah, you make your own. They'll make you answer 5 nonsensical questions first, but damn it if you won't be able to make your own account.
Yeah, absolutely. All right.
I
Jeez,
got nothing else
man,
to say.
We've been at this for like, 50 minutes. We're at that point where we're going off topic all
Talking
the time.
about my
and I love it.
3DS that I got that was full of porn. That's such a fun. That was
Well, that's a great way to hide it from your parents,
What a
right? Because they don't know about that internet
what a
browser.
funny, like, just God. I just remember where I was sitting in my chair, like going through this DS. I was like, "What the actual fuck?"
Oh yeah, with the actual Fox, it's like, all right, hold on, I'm just gonna write this site
Yeah.
down. I'm just gonna write this
taking
one.
notes here. So what would you give this game out of 10?
Oh, out of 10, this game's gonna get a good solid. I'm gonna give it a 4.
A 4.
A 4 because I did get a little bit of a nostalgic kick. Like I'm gonna get a bigger one if I play King's Quest or Police Quest. Both those games available on GOG. But this game reminded me of why I like those games. So I'm going to give it a 4 just because, stupid story. A very dated text.
Yeah.
Puzzles that really required you to think, not logically, but kind of stupidly.
It's kind of
And it'll get the so it's like a 1 out of 10, but it gets a 3-point nostalgia bump for me,
It's a big old nostalgia.
even
bump.
though it's the first time I played it. Yeah, well, fuck, I like my old games.
I don't know. You know what? I'm gonna go a bit higher. I'm gonna give it a 6.9. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. That
Oh,
was,
you've been waiting for that one. Oh, you backpedaler.
no, that was a joke.
You could have fucking ended on a great note.
No.
Oh, fuck, we could have ended the whole episode there. You
No.
backpedaling little slut.
No, I gotta give my final thoughts. I'm gonna give it a 5. I thought it was, you know what? I'm giving it a 5 not because of the game and its content, more because I just appreciated the gameplay itself, not what was necessarily happening or what it was making me do, but just like, that sort of like I had a good time trying to figure out how to play this, because I don't have a lot of experience with this particular style of older point and click games. So
If we play another one of these games, it's going to be a King's Quest.
no, it's gonna be Day of the Tentacle. I love that game, but yeah, King's Quest would be fun. I thought it was interesting how you could, the clues were kind of there for you. You just had to know how to find them, how to look for them, what you could interact with, and all that kind of stuff. A lot of trial and error. So I could see, like back in 1987, if you have a computer and you have a game of this style, that's a lot of, I could see sitting down and playing a game like this with like a notepad and just progressing a little bit further each time and finding new things. So
let's not forget in 1987 you didn't have all the distractions of 2025.
it's true.
You know, you're waiting a week for the next episode of your favorite TV show. If you wanted to learn something, you had a set of encyclopedias up in your bookshelf.
That's right.
Because that's how we learned. Every year, parents had to buy new encyclopedias, otherwise you're fucking out of date.
Yep, that's right. But yeah, I don't know. I appreciated the gameplay style. I thought it was kind of fun. So that it gets a boost for me from that perspective. And the graphics weren't too bad for a computer game.
For the 1987, yeah, they were pretty good. I could tell what Larry was. He was a person.
Yeah, and sometimes he took his clothes off.
Occasionally, but not the condom.
Yeah, to make sure you take that off because you'll get a ticket and you'll lose the game.
Yeah, the cops are definitely going to stop you there and check your dong.
Yeah, get your dick out. We want to make sure you don't have a condom on. Disgusting, you pervert.
Were you fucking a lady of the night?
Oh man.
Because we can't say hooker anymore.
No, I guess you probably shouldn't. It's not. It's kind of derogatory. But yeah, I guess.
Everything nowadays is derogatory.
That's true.
Fuck. You can't say any words. You can't say dead. You have to say unalive.
Yeah, don't say.
They're not homeless people. They're unhoused.
Don't.
It means the same goddamn
don't
thing.
Say any of those words.
Fuck.
Yeah. What do we got next week? Do you know?
I hate
it. This has been Grumpy Old Man Corner with Brian.
Yeah.
What do we?
Back in my day, you could tell women they were garbage, and it was no problem. Fuck, I got to stop listening to Bill Burr because
he's rubbing off on you.
Mindset.
Speaking of rubbing off,
rubbing. Yeah, here we go. Next week we got my first solo episode coming up because you're out of town.
Yep.
Me and Alan have a hard time linking up because his prime recording time, I'm at school. So that's why I haven't been around a lot. So I did Xenogears. So that's coming up next week.
Awesome.
So look forward to that.
Yeah. So Xenogears next week. And until next time, make sure you take off your protection before you go on the street, please. Seriously. It's just we can't emphasize that enough. Bye.
Just snap it off against the wall.